The next topic is conditional statements like if else, elif, ternary, switch cases. All condition based execution, if else, elif, ternary and switch cases. I created one folder called conditional inside a project. In our project, we can create any number of folders. Right click on this folder, go to the new, select a Python file. Go inside. I developed several programs. Try saving t1.py first program. Easily you can understand if condition is passing, then only executing this content. In case of Python, no opening brace and closing brace to the if block, to the for loop, to the classes. Block can be represented through indentation. You have to provide indentation. This is the indentation. Whatever left side is there, this is the indentation. You have to give a minimum one space to represent body of the if block. If you specify one space, then for all the statements one space only. If you specify two spaces, then for all the statements two spaces only. It should end with the colon. Colon is a mandatory. You can supply true or false. Let's run this one. You'll get 1, then 2, 2, 2, then 3. Inside a if block, any number of statements can be developed. So all these statements are condition based statements. Whenever if block is receiving a true, then only these statements will be executed. Whenever if block is receiving a true, then only the statements are executed. Whenever if block is receiving a true, then only the statements are executed. Straightforward. You can run this one. Copy the same content. Develop T2 file. Content is same. You can copy. Develop a T2.py. Try running this. You are getting output as 1 and 3. Condition based statements are not executed. Condition based statements are not executed because of false. If block is receiving a false, it won't execute. Please remember, after true or false, you have to specify colon. Body should be represented through an indentation, not through opening brace, closing brace. In other programming languages, opening brace and closing brace to represent a body. In case of Python, only indentation. This indentation can be with one space or multiple spaces. If you are choosing only one space for the first statement, then remaining all statements should be one space only. If at all, first statement is taking one tab for the indentation, then remaining all the statements should be with one tab only. You can go for one space or multiple spaces, one tab or multiple tabs, but constant indent for every statement. Constant indent. If first statement is two tabs, then all other statements also should be two tabs only. You are getting output as a 1 and 3. Because of false, control not going inside. Because of false, control not going inside. 1 and 3. Copy the same, try developing T3. Everybody, it's very simple. If block, immediately else block. Else should be immediately after if block. Else should be immediately after if block. Come on. Whenever if block is executing, else won't execute. Whenever if block is executing, else won't execute. Else is only for addressing some execution whenever if block is not executing. Whenever if block is not executing, then only else will execute. In this program, if block is executing, else won't execute. Else execution will be whenever if is not executing. Because of the true if block executing. Even for else block also, constant number of indents. Indentation should be with a constant number of spaces or tabs. Copy the same program, everybody. Define T4. Because of the false, it will go to the else block. Now else only will execute. Because of the false, else block. Only else is executing. Come to the next one. Nesting a if block. If block inside a if block. Please observe, indentation is very important. For this if block, this is the indentation. There is one more if block. One more if block. Come on. For this if block, again proper indentation. If indentation is not proper, you cannot run. So we are not getting 3. Why we are not getting 3? If block is receiving a false. Control entering into the first if block, printing 2, printing 4. But printing 3 is not. Why? Because false. This content is skipping. Straightforward. Anybody can able to understand. While developing a nesting, you have to understand the indentation properly. Come to the next one. While nesting a if block, we can also keep a else. Else block can be for any if block. Now this else block is only belonging to inner if block, not to the outer if block. For outer if block, no else block. Else block is optional for any of the if block. There is no mandatory of providing else block for every if block. Try running. Come to the next one. So what is happening here? Guys, inner else block will not be executing. Why? Because inner if block is receiving a true. This else block is belonging to this if block. Print 4 will not be executing. Try running. Print 4 is not executing. Come to that T8. This is very important. So please observe, if block is receiving a false, then total body is skipping. Even though inside a body there is a if block with a true, that won't execute. It will not be executing. Please observe, because of false. This total body is skipping, you will be getting 1 and 6. Just 1 and 6. Come to the next one. Just to copy paste and try modifications whatever required. Now here outer if block is receiving a false. There is a else block for the outer if block. This complete body is skipping. Then looking for else. You'll get 1, 6, 7. Straightforward. Come to the next one. This is the elif. Elif is nothing but else with a if. Else with a if. Whenever else is executing, then only this if will be continuing. Here if is executing, elif will be completely skipping. 3 is not executing. Please observe, this else should start to execute, then if should require a true. Now here, this itself true, it is not going to else. It is not going to else at all. Remember this point. If is receiving a true, then it won't go to the else. If at all control going to the else, then what is the if for the else? Now control not reach to the else itself. Even though it is receiving a true, it won't execute. Even though if is receiving a true, control not coming to the else. Control not coming to the else. You'll get output as 1 and 2. Come to the next one. If is receiving a false, elif receiving a true. Because of the false, it's going to the else. But this else is again with a condition. Come on. Whenever control is coming to the else, control is coming to the else. Whenever control is coming to the else, it checks what is the if. If is a true. So something like a elif is nothing but conditional else where one condition should execute. Elif is nothing but else if. Whenever control coming to the else, then it has to pass one more if condition. Elif is nothing but else if. Whenever control is coming to the else, it has to execute one more condition. Now, control coming to the else, because of first if block is a false, then else if is receiving a true, you'll get a 3. You can see 1, 3, 4. So you can consider this as a conditional else block. Even though control coming to the else, it won't execute straight away. To execute that, one condition to be passed. Elif. One condition to be passed. Come to the next one. Now, because of the false, it is coming to the else. Else is tied with a if block, that is also false. You'll get output as just 1 and 4. Output as 1 and 4. Come to the next one. T13. So please observe, if is receiving a false, it is going to the else. That else block is tied with a if. Unfortunately, this if also receiving a false. For that if, this is the else. The last else executing. Come on. So here you can consider like a if and else initially. If and else initially. In the body of the else, there is a if else. In the body of the first else, there is a if else. In the body of the first else, there is a if else. That if is not executing, else will execute. 1, 4, 5. So please observe, guys, this complete selected one will be in the body of the else, which is for first if block. First if block, then else block. In the body of the else block, we kept if else. In the body of the else block, there is a if else. In the body of the else block, there is a if else. In the body of the else block, there is a if block. If else. Now, because of false, it is going into the else. Else containing a if else in the body. Else containing if else in the body. That if is receiving a false, going to the else. 1, 4, 5. Come to the next one. What is there here? So please observe. If block is receiving a false, it is going to else block. That else block containing is selected portion in the body. Else block containing selected portion in the body, you will be getting a print 3. Please observe. 1, 3, 5. 1, 3, 5. Come to the next one. What is there here? If block is receiving a true, it won't go to the L. It won't go to the L. Come on. L body, that is this one. It's completely skipping. Even though here there is a if with a true, there is a if with a true, it won't execute. You will be getting 1, 2, 5. 1, 2, 5. Please observe, even though there is a if block of true, one more if block of true. This complete body is skipping, this complete selected portion is skipping because of if is receiving a true. Even though there is a if block with a true in the body of the else, it won't execute. Output is 1, 2, 5. Come to the next one. What is there here? Guys, if block is a false, it is going to the L body, that L body containing the selected one. Here again, if block is receiving a false, it will go to the else. You will be getting 4. One, 4, 5. Straightforward. Very simple. Come to the 17. What is there here? Guys, if block, then else block. Come on. L block containing this much, if and else. Inner else also taking a condition if. Inner else. Please observe the structure. Guys, everybody. This is the outer if block. This is the outer else block. In the body of the outer else block, there is a if elif. So if and elif. This L is a else block to the if, whatever is there in the body of the outer else. This is the L. In the body of this else, there is a if block. Come on. This will go into body of the L. This L is a corresponding to this if. This if and totally in the body of the outer L. Observe this point. False. Going to the else. Going to the else. Else body. There is a false. Going to the else. Else body. False. You won't get any output except 1 and 5. You can see 1 and 5. Let's see another. Just to copy paste. What is there here? Everybody. This is completely in the body of the else. Come on. L. This completely in the body of the else, whichever starting at line number 4. At line number 2, outer if block. At line number 4, outer else block. Whatever I selected, it is in the body of the outer else block. In this body, come on. If is there, corresponding else is there. In the body of this else, again there is a if else. So you can consider this as a one level. If block, this is first level. If with along with the else, you can consider if block and its else block. This is completely in the body of the outer else block. In the body of the outer else block. Inside a body of the outer else block, there is a if else. There is a if else. Come on. Inside that if else, again else containing a body. This will be the third level. Hello? Elif. So please observe. This is the else body, else which is belonging to this if. Whatever I selected, these two are coming under one pair. Then, come on, this is the L for this particular if. Then, this is the L for this particular if. Totally 3 levels are there. This is the first level if and along with else. Whatever I selected, it is the first level. In the else body, there is a if and again L. This is the second level nesting. Second level nesting. Then the third level, in the second level else, there is a third level if else. So please observe else body with a if. Else body with a if. Then please remember this is completely, let me check. Whatever I am selecting, it is in the body of the L, whichever is at line number 6. Whatever I selected, it is in the body of the L. It is in the body of the L at line number 6. Now, please observe. You can see like this is the last level. Then, this is another intermediate level, second level. If along with the else. Line number 6, L, containing a body with if else. Line number 4, containing else with a body of if else. This is the second level, intermediate level. The first level is this. Totally 3 levels of nesting. Whenever elif is there, consider if inside a else. Elif means if inside a else. Try running. So please observe all 3 levels else's are false. It will go to print 5, then print 6. Come to the next one. Here also 3 levels are there. This is the first level. This is the second level. This is the third level. 3 levels of nesting. First level false. it will go in the body of the else block. This much content is supposed to execute. But here, if he is receiving a true, it won't go to the L. Line number 6, control is not going. To the line number 6, control not going because of if is a true, printing 3. Printing 3. Try running. Please observe. If this is executing, then this L will not be executing. If this L is not executing, the complete body of that L will be skipping. This complete portion is skipping. This also skipping. Only this portion will be executing. Only one block is executing here. That is second level if block. Second level if block. 1, 3, 6. Copy the same program. Go to the next one. So first level false, going to the else of first level. Second level is false, going to the else of second level. Third level is true, going to the if block of third level. Only one block is executing, whichever I have selected. Please observe. So 1, 4, 6. 1, 4, 6. Straightforward. So remember here, only one block is executing, not more than. We have provided several blocks. In the previous program, one block was executing. Here also only one block. Again, copy the same program. Do the modifications, whatever is required. So please observe, how many levels are there? This is one level, if else. Then, come on. This is the second level, then first level, elif. Same 3 levels. It is receiving a true, it won't go to the else. Even though there are 2 more truths, this complete body is skipping. Why? Because outer if block is receiving a true. Outer if block is receiving a true. Whatever I selected, it is completely skipping. Whatever I selected, completely skipping. Even though it is a true, even though it is a true. In the series of if elif, maximum one block only will execute. Maximum one block only will execute, not more than one block. Maximum one block, not more than one block. So try to run. 1, 2, 6. Come to the 22. So please observe, in the Python, we can define a function. Function definition should be with a def keyword. For the function also, you have to end with the colon, and we have to provide constant indents to every statement of the function. To every statement of the function, we have to. This won't execute straight away. You have to make a call. These are the calling statements to the function. def F1. Come on. Then F1, you can go. So F1 is the name of the function. We defined the function with the 3 statements. These statements will execute, no need of calling these statements. Please remember, these are available in the main stack itself, no need of calling. But these statements are inside a function. To execute these statements, you have to call the function any number of times. Define a function one time. Keep using that function any number of times based on your requirement. Based on your requirement, any number of times. Try running this one. Straightforward. You can check it out, the output. The initial default main stack of content, then F1 executing, again F1, again F1, multiple times. So we got to know very basic information of the functions. But detailed information you will be coming to know in a separate section. There is a separate sections about functions. Here I am just showing very basic information. To understand further concepts, you required basic knowledge about functions. Basic knowledge about functions. So please observe, even function also should have constant indents. Body should be representing through indents, constant number of indents. It should with a colon. Then only running will be success. So we got to know like how to define a function, how we can call a function. Let us see another. So please observe. Function can take any number of arguments. Function can take any number of arguments. These are the arguments. While calling a function, you need to supply values to both the arguments. Function can take any number of arguments. You need to supply values to all the arguments while making a call to the same function. While giving a call to the function, you need to supply values to every argument. Values to every argument. Try running. Come to the next one. Very basic information about functions to understand other concepts. Detailed information of functions you'll come to know in a different section. So please observe, we can define a function inside another function. Nesting of a function. We can define a function in another function. If you run this one, you won't get inner function output. We are calling F1 two times. We are calling F1 two times. F1 containing inner function. This is the inner function. That won't execute at all. We are not calling that inner function. We got only output as 1 and 3. Two times we are calling F1. In both the times you are getting 1 and 3. Come to the next one. How we can call inner function? We cannot call inner function from outside. This statement gives a runtime error. You can check it out. F11 not visible. F11 will be visible in the body of the F1. F11 will be visible in the body of the F1. Come on. F11 will be visible in the body of the F1. Try running. We are getting an error. Comment it. How we can make a call to? How we can make a call to inner function? Just to copy and paste. So please observe. This is the definition of inner function. It is visible only in the body of the F1. In the body of the F1 I am calling. Please observe. How to call inner function? Try calling inner function within the body of the outer function. There are a lot of ways of calling inner function. Those things you will come to know in a separate section. But as of now, what we are doing? Come on. We are calling inner function from the body of the outer function. These statements are there in the body of the outer function. Come on. Come on. Try running. Two times we called inner function. Check it out. Inner function is calling two times for every execution of outer function. Outer function calling two times. Inner function calling two times for every outer function execution. Come to the next one. This is very simple. One dictionary. You will be knowing more about dictionaries in a separate section. A simple dictionary. This dictionary containing key colon values. Key colon values. You can print a dictionary. You can print a particular value for a key. Value for a particular key. Value for a particular key. Dictionary is a container. Dictionary is a container where we can store key value pairs. There is a separate section dictionaries. At that time you will be knowing more. Here we are just going through some basics. We are just going through some basics. Some basics of dictionary. We can maintain any number of key value pairs. In order to understand further concepts, we required functions and dictionary. Functions and dictionary. That is why we went through basic concepts of functions, basic concepts of dictionary. Now you can see applying both. This is very important, guys. Guys, this is very important. Try understanding fully. So please observe, C1 is one inner function, C2, C3. There is one dictionary. Dictionary keys are 1, 2, 3. Values are function names. Come on. Values are function names. This is one dictionary. These are the three inner functions. Then, inside a dictionary, we are trying to get arg1. What is arg1? It's a function argument. Supply argument to the get. So what is the argument you are supplying while calling a test? We are supplying a 2. So 2 is sending to arg1. 2 is sending to arg1. So please observe, we are supplying a 2 to the test. 2 to the test. Arg1 is a 2. Arg1 is a 2. These are the functions. Leave these functions. This is the dictionary containing 1, 2, 3 are the keys. Then what we are doing? D1 dot get of 2. Come on. D1 dot get of 2. So 2 means C1. This completely 2 means C2. This completely replaces C2. Then it is a calling statement. Please observe. This is very important, guys. So this completely results in C2. Yes or no? Whatever I selected, it is resulting C2. Arg1 is a 2, arg1 is a 2. While calling test method, we supplied a 2. While calling test method, we supplied a 2. We are supplying a 2. Arg1 is a 2. For the 2 C2, while calling T1 dot get off 2. Arg1 is a 2. T1 dot get off 2 will get C2. Whatever I selected, that completely resulting C2. After C2, there is a calling statement to the function. Please observe. So some people might be confusing, why this additional parenthesis? These parentheses are used for giving a call to function. This returns a function name from the dictionary. Whatever I selected, it returns function name from the dictionary. Function name from the dictionary. Function name from the dictionary. With that function name, we cannot call straight away. We require a parenthesis. We require a parenthesis. Yes or no? C2 D1 dot get of arg1. D1 dot get of arg1. Absolutely possible. You can call test2 of 1. 1 is assigned to C1. C1 will be calling. You can call test1 of 3. 3 is assigned to C3. Already we have seen dictionaries, functions, inner functions. So C1, C2, C3 are inner functions. Those functions can be called from the body of the inner function. So this completely returns one function name from the dictionary. Supply key to the dictionary. Arg1 is a key here. I can supply 1 or 2 or 3. For 1, C1 is assigned. For 2, C2 is assigned. For 3. Here also condition based execution. Based on arg1 value, different functions are executing. Based on arg1 value, different functions are executing. Please observe, this is a kind of switch case. Come on. You can consider test body is a switch. C1 is one case, C2 is one case, C3 is one case. In Python, there is no switch case. We can achieve switch cases indirectly by using this approach. Python not supporting switch cases. There is no switch case at all in the Python. If you have a requirement of switch case, then indirectly we have to achieve switch case functionality by using outer function, inner function with a dictionary. To understand this approach, first we went through outer functions, then we went through inner functions, then we went through dictionary. Now we mix it all. While calling test, you can supply 2 or 1 or 3. Test is a switch body. Definitely you know switch cases already. In every programming language, switch case is there, except in Python. Python doesn't have a switch cases. Same switch cases can be achieved different approach. That is outer, inner, dictionary. Outer function, inner function, then dictionary. Inside outer function, get one value from the dictionary, make a call to that value by using extra parenthesis. Try running. Simple. I think everybody understood how to achieve switch cases in Python. Copy the same program, try developing one more time. Same program, no change. We are removing this extra parenthesis. The same program, while giving a call to function, we are not supplying extra parenthesis. If you go for a test of 3, we supposed to get only C3, but we are getting all 3 functions. This is not the correct way of using inner functions with a dictionary to achieve switch case functionality. Please observe C1 with parenthesis, remove. C2 with parenthesis, remove. This also remove. Whatever you removed, try providing at line number 16. Now we supposed to get only C3. You can see C3. The exact perfect way of using inner functions with a dictionary to achieve switch case functionality. Inside a dictionary, keep only function names, not with parentheses. Function names, not with the parentheses. The extra parenthesis try providing while calling a function. While calling a function only I had to provide. So here, you are getting a function name from the dictionary by supplying a arg1 as a 3. We are supplying arg1 as a 3. You are getting a C3. It's just a function name. After function name, try providing parenthesis whatever is required. If you provide a parenthesis in the dictionary itself, we are getting different results. Don't worry the reason for these results. This is not the correct way of using. This is not a meaningful way of development. Please remember. Always go for removing parenthesis inside a dictionary. Adding the same parenthesis. Adding the same parenthesis while giving a call. This is the correct way of using inner functions with a dictionary to achieve switch cases. Python not supporting switch cases. We have a indirect approach to achieve the same switch case. Please observe test method. It will be acting as a body of the switch. C1, one case. C2, another case. C4, another case. Define a one dictionary with all the functions by supplying a keys. Then keep a calling statement of the dictionary along with the parenthesis extra whatever is required. Supply 1. So for the 1, C1. C1 with extra parenthesis, that is C1 method calling statement. C1 method will be called like C2 or C3. It's very simple. Come to the next one. It's a perfect example of switch cases, switch body. One case for Monday, one case for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. A dictionary. Totally 7 entries in the dictionary. Then dictionary dot get of case value. Extra parenthesis. You can go for 317. Straightforward. You can try understanding. Understood everybody? It's a perfect example for switch case. In Python, there is no switch case. Same can be achieved indirectly by using inner functions along with the dictionary. You will be knowing more about inner functions and dictionaries in the later sections. Go to the 30. This content can be achieved whatever I selected in the comments. This whole can be achieved in a single line. You can use either single line or this one. Either single line or this particular. This is the single line. This is whole. So let me remove these comments. Guys, let me comment this X. Now X value 10. Why? Because if block is receiving a true. If block is receiving a true, what is containing in the if block? There is only assignment. What is containing in the else block? Only assignment. Whenever if block containing only assignment, else block containing only assignment, you don't require to develop this much bigger these many statements. So instead of going for if else, you can go for ternary operator. Then if false, else 20. Come on. You can go for here true. Then if true, otherwise 20. It is a ternary operator. In a single line we can achieve. But here condition to be only assignment. Instead of going for if else, whenever only assignment is there, only assignment, if and else, only assignment, you can choose this one. 10 if true, else 20. 10 if true, else 20. Ternary operator. Very simple. This is only for assigning some value in the if block, else block. Whenever assigning some value in the if block and else block, you can achieve through ternary operator. This whole commented one is same as this much. Now because of true, we are getting a 10. You can go false also. Please observe. You can go for false. 10 if false, else 20. Now 20 will be assigning. Based on your requirement, you can check it out. Come to the next one. Instead of true false, you can provide a Boolean condition. Instead of true false, you can provide a Boolean condition. Straightforward, everybody can able to understand. Come on. In the commented content, if else block is there. If else block in the commented content. Same can be achieved by using ternary operator. Here, print the x if x is lesser than y. If at all x is greater than y, print y. I need to find out what is the minimum value. X will be minimum if at all x is less than y. Then y will be minimum if at all x is not less than y. Similarly, what is the maximum? X will be maximum if at all x is greater than y. If x is greater than y, then x is a maximum. Otherwise, y is a maximum. Ternary operator. Let me run this one. Minimum value, maximum value. This is all about the conditional statements. Please practice all the examples.